All right, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So finally, after a little bit of a hiatus, we're finally going to get into the second volume omnibus of Battling to Alita Last Order. So this has been, I've been wanting to get back to it for a while. Fortunately, got sidelined by a couple of things. So I'm tentatively going to say we'll probably cover the first 4 chapters or so of the volume, because I think that's typically how I'm going to cover in my past videos. But if those chapters are short or there's not enough content or something, based on timing and everything else, we'll see. I might do more chapters than that. But without further ado, let us dive into it. I'm just going to say that I'm probably going to forget some names already because I have not revisited Volume 1 since I finished it. But hopefully I won't mess those up too badly. Just putting it out there. Hey, Michael, it's good to see you in the chat. Hope you're going to enjoy this live stream. So let's jump into it with Chapter 19, What Makes a Warrior? And you see, you see a tump, and you see this little kid running away with what looks like Queen Lemuria's Koenig bear, the same kind of bear with a little vest and everything. Might be similar design. Running away from these two ball android looking weirdos. We're going chirp, chirp, beep, beep, chirp, beep. Reminds me of the twins from the second Matrix. And you see the corner of the kid in empty alleyway with another cheap. And as the kid's trying to climb, he's like, wow, I was like, help me, mommy. And you see, as one of the goons catches the kid. And you see Alita coming and going, what's going on here? Let him go. And you see one of the goons just going cheep-a-reep as he pulls out a little electric baton from his jacket and sparks it up and tries to do the intimidation thing where he just starts dragging it across the wall, just scoring it as he walks. Alita's completely unimpressed as he goes tweet-a-dee and he starts doing flips and like flourishes with the baton. And he kind of just and he's doing a little disappearing act in front of Alita with his arms crossed. And Alita's not impressed. She's like, and you see a pop and a whip. As when he's trying to pull it out, Alita just does a flying flip and just smacks him in the face and sends him flying. Oh. And you see him as he's standing back up again. He kind of just wobbles slightly and then falls backwards as Alita just blows a little breath on him with a thwump and a wham. And you see a scaw as the other one gets a knife and a fork thrown into his arm with a blast of electricity, like zzzt. And you see a whump as he lets the kid go. And you see a tup as a tiny little hand just latches onto his cheek like this and does a hurts-a-hay-on and sends a shockwave through him that breaks his glasses. And you see a proud little Zex just land on the floor after having knocked him out going, I love the smell of this rotten world. I love Chibi Zex so much. And you see Alita and Chibi Zex standing down next to the kid and asking, what's your name? And he goes, Gerard. Alita's like, where do you live? And the kid kind of just looks sad as he shakes his head. And Alita's like, I see, that's too bad. And we see them placing a call to Martin, who's having a little bath with Elf and Swolf. As you have, hello? Who's like, oh, Ping's not here right now. Huh? Lost kid? How should I know? Take him to the Admini police. I'll take care of him. And you see the next page is go to the Admini police station with the kid still looking sad, holding on to Alita's hand. As she goes, don't be sad. You'll be home in no time. And you see the kid just giving her a little bear to take care of. And she's like, is this for me? And you see little robot helpers come out and like cradle the kid in their arm and take them inside. And you have Zex sitting on Alita's shoulder going, why are human brats so weak? It's like they're kids, Alita's like they're kids, not grown up yet. I was right. And Alita's like looking at the bear. She's like, this bear, she's like playing with its arms, like, where have I seen? And you see a beep beep. He's like, it has to be this way. Someone's using a little radar to close in on someone. And Jeff, we're closing in, almost there. He's like, hey. And you see Koenig as Lemira just dives towards him, grabs him in a hug. And you have Alita going, Queen Lemuria and Zazie. He's like, give me a start. And Lemuria's like, oh, look at all this dirt. And Zazie just giving Alita the stare. And Zek's like, so that's Zazie. And Zazie's like, you, how did you get this? And he's like, I didn't steal it. And you have, oh boy, Lemuria put me down to have tea and a little boy grabbed me. And you have Alita going, I left the kid with the police. As Zazie just kind of grabs her by the collar and hauls her up. And he goes, you did what? Do you have any idea what will happen to him? And he's like, what do you mean? Lemira's like, Zazie, stop the violence and explain yourself. And Zazie just kind of tosses Alita off to the side with a fat and a wud. And Lemuria or Zazie's like, need I remind you, Your Grace? This place is different from our kingdom on Mars. Here they don't recognize the right to life for children. We can be fairly certain that little boy escaped from a juvenile infantry school. And Alita's like, a what? Zazie goes, the police will hand him over to his rightful owner, the school. The only thing waiting for him there is the organized slaughter they call combat training. His chance of surviving that is close to nil. And you have Chibi Zex being like, oh, slaughter? I like the sound of that. And Alita's like, what have I? And she thinks back to his crying face like, get out. It's like, he's asking me for help, but I... And she punches the wall in anger, like, damn it. Took him straight to the police. Lemuria's like, Zazie, Miss Alita, why do you look as though you've given up already? And you have Koenig going, lucky for us, Ladder filled our war chest. Money will talk, even at a school that kills innocent children. You have Zazie going, Your Majesty. As you see, next page is Expendable Toys, Juvenile Infantry School, main office. As you have Lemuria going into this little waiting room going, that's him, he's the one. So I'll buy his entire platoon. And you have 1 moment, please. The owner will accept 1,500,000 megasols for a platoon. Boy. Oh, God. Lemuria's like, oh, good, it's a deal. And you have, however, platoon extension 04 is in the field for live fire exercises. We cannot guarantee the return. Will you still make payment? And you have Lemuria's shocked for a moment before she goes, then order them back right away. And you have platoon EXT-04 carries no comm device. Contract cannot be made. On the next page, you see Zazie and Alita just scaling the sheer cliff. As you see a and a boom in the background as they're making their way up, assume to the battlefield. Zazie's going, his platoon is after a flag in Highland CE-41, just ahead of us. This bluff is a considerable shortcut. Hope we make it in time. And you have Alita going, what was that about a flag, Zazie? He's like, how do you know all about this? And Zazie's like, I was a regular in this combat chamber before I began serving Queen Lemuria. They fly flags with bounties on them all over the terrain. Register to be a soldier and you can fight over them. And it's not just the kids. Professional mercenaries, amateur war buffs, bored rich folks. And you see Zazie as she's climbing up, she's being shot at. So she pulls out her gun and shoots 2 of the people below with guns. It's like, Zex is like, hey you, Miss Know-It-All. And Zazie just glares at her. And Alita's like, I didn't say anything, it was her. And you have Zex going, I'm Zex. And Zazie's like, I thought that was a doll. And she's like, what is it, shrimp? God, I just love Zex more and more and more. As you have, what is it that makes someone a true soldier? And you have Zazie replying, a soldier is one who swears allegiance to her master. Zex is like, master? Who ever heard of such hogwash? He's like, poo. He's like, don't spit on my head. And Zazie going, I've sworn allegiance to Queen Lemuria, but it doesn't have to be a person. It's something worth more than your life or your fleeting desires. Something that drives you, unwavering even in the face of death. Living your life by that oath and fighting to the end for it, that's what it means to be a soldier. You have Zex contemplating this as they go, something that drives you in the face of death. And looks down and goes, Alita, do you have a master? And Alita just kind of does a flip as she grabs onto a higher section of the wall, and she goes, my master is myself. It's like, hey, once that's what I would have said without hesitation. But now, to be honest, I'm not sure. There's something deep inside me that I don't recognize. And until I figure it out, and Zazie goes, you're still on a journey to find your master. And until you discover it, you'll keep growing. And you have Alita going, I want a guide, someone to show me the way. Oh, that is just dark. Oh, so you see just this enormous battlefield laid out, the flag kind of having fallen over, and you see all these little children that have been shot and massacred, limbs lying everywhere, just blanketing the field. It's very, very grim. And Jeff, what is this? It's like Zazie's thinking, we're too late. These two child squads annihilated each other. Happens all the time. Oh, God, this is gut-wrenching. And you see poor little baby Gerard, half his face blown away, half his torso blown away. Lydia just screams out his name and goes, why? Why do they make such little children kill each other? And Jeff, so, this is allegiance, huh? And Zazie's like, no. They tell these kids they'll be returned to their parents if they get the flag. And the kids believe it. They never had a chance to choose a master. Oh. And you see this little helicopter with a Vrish touching down. And you see the two android-looking grunts from before stepping out as this Nazi-looking fuck with long hair steps out of the plane and goes, all dead, I see. Good, good. All thanks to their excellent combat training. You may take your corpses. They're bought and paid for. Might be able to salvage a few as cyborgs. Oh. You have Zazie going, Colonel Payne, do you remember me? And he goes, Zazie, how could I forget? After all, you're one of our school's finest graduates. And Zazie's like, I hope never to see you again, you inhuman bastard. And he goes, I'm hurt. There are few men as merciful as I. If one merely wanted to get rid of these brats, one could simply toss them out of the airlock. Why go to all the trouble to train and arm them? Because we want them to taste ultimate freedom and the richness of life, short though it may be. Even slaves are set free in battle. Oh, boy, Zex, what are you doing? Zex being like, I like your attitude, old man. And you have Alita kind of just mournfully looking down still before she rubs away her tears. And she walks up to him and goes, so, do you remember me? And Payne's like, of course, yes, I remember. You are? Alita goes, well, I don't know you. She just glares at him. Absolutely love it. Yes. Oh, God, I love this asshole getting his just desserts. Alita just punches him straight in the midsection with a huge, powerful shockwave blast and just sends him flying back, exploded as his limbs go flying, and completely knock out his two little bodyguards as well. Just an absolute carnage, the shockwave just flying back and knocking over the helicopter with a kaboom. And you have Zex just smiling maniacally going, an electromagnetic punch. And you see Alita's got tears streaming down her face. She's standing there with the pose finished after she's punched him and goes, and I wouldn't want to know scum like you. And you see Payne's head kind of rolling off to the ground, coming to stop with an eek as Zazie puts a leg, stops his head with her foot. And she goes, oh no, that's Payne going, must be thrilling to kill me after hating me for so long. But remember this, no matter how you dress it up, life at its core is always slavery. Oh. And you see kablam as Zazie pulls out her gun and just shoots him in the head. And she goes, I don't need to hear that from you. Oh, God. I love this series. Has so many badass women. Oh, I love Alita and Zazie. We get to phase 20. Good punch. And we have a Shah. As you see Alita standing next to this very grim looking tree. And she goes, looks like I'm lost. And she's calling out, Zazie, Zex. And you see someone standing on a nearby rock outcropping with this little three, most of them silhouetted, but they have this little three-eyed print in the inner side of their hood. And you have, you called? Alita's like, who? It's like, I didn't call you. Oh, God. And you see that motherfucker Pain as he goes, but you did. You called for me. Alita's like, you're Colonel Pain, but I killed you. And he goes, yes, that was a good punch. But even if you did destroy my body, you couldn't destroy my Geist. Alita's like, I don't believe in ghosts. Get away. Go on. Shoot. And Pain's like, hey, I know what you want. You want a teacher, don't you? I will be your teacher. I will give you guidance. And you see Alita going, who'd want you as a teacher? And she goes up and tries to land a punch on him. But it's basically like an illusion or an apparition. She goes tumbling past him as her punch doesn't land. And she stops with a thump as she's reverted back to child Yoko again. And you have Pain going, your affectations fall away before me. This is your true self. A tiny creature that doesn't understand what's happening around her. A pitiful animal that can only respond to what's right in front of it. That is what you are. You see a choo-choo as these meteors or bombs are starting to come in and land down on the land with a boom and a boom. Oh, and you have poor scared-looking baby Yoko going, no, it's not. And Pain's like, you small soul, known by so many names. You have done well to survive so long, but you still believe you can overcome your spiritual and physical limits through martial art training? That one day you will cross the threshold and become completely human? You should abandon this false hope. And you see a whoosh as these fighter jets are flying overhead, and you have an explosion coming up behind Pain. As you have, a soldier is a killer by another name. Stories of saints and wise men are lies from a bygone age. The only reward for those who believe them is eternal despair. Well, this is some powerfully evocative imagery, as you have him just being silhouetted by the blast around him, as you see flaming debris just landing around Alita with a pock and a tish. And she's like, no! He's like, why is the world full of outrage and pain? Why are you alive? Why do you fight? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you the truth. And you see a bomb coming down to land and disintegrating the area Alita's in as she's trying to run away. And it's like, I don't want to hear it. Again, just some very, very evocative panel work. You have a, and you see Alita waking up with a start out of her dream. It's like, And you see Zex is just laid out cold sleeping, and Zazie's taking watch nearby. Zazie goes, you okay? You were moaning in your sleep. And Alita's like, I'm fine. She goes, we're not slaves, are we, Zazie? And Zazie kind of side-eyes her. She goes, you're worried about what Pain said? Forget it. Don't let him psych you out. And you see, as Zazie's saying this, Alita imagines seeing Pain's silhouette in the background behind her. And Zazie kind of just looks off to the side to see if anything's there. Alita's like, never mind. And you see, next day, combat chamber, area G, green flag point. You see a bunch of massacred soldiers. And you have Team Bravo doesn't copy. It's like, huh? Having trouble with just 2 enemies? It's like, right, there's the talk of the city. That duo who nabbed 19 flags in 2 days. And you have, not a duo, we're a trio. And you have Chibi Zex just carrying this pistol that's too large for them. And just coming in with a spin and a blam blam, just taking out the 2 soldiers. Now, this sucks. As Alita goes and grabs the flag. And you have Zazie going, that's number 20. It's like same as the number of kids in Gerard's platoon. A fitting memorial for the children who died. And he's like, let's head back. And Alita's like, Zazie, how many flags are there all together in the combat chamber? And Zazie's like, you can't be thinking. And she goes, it's a crazy idea, but if one flag is worth the lives of Gerard and the 19 with him, how many kids could we save if we had all the flags in here? And you see Alita kind of just planting the flag that she just picked up right down next to her, and she goes, when I think of it that way, I can't stand by and do nothing, even if I know it's futile. And Zazie's thinking, futile? Colonel Payne isn't the only owner of a juvenile infantry school. As long as Ladder rules this world, the tragedy will continue. 2 weeks later, the flags will be put up again. It wouldn't solve anything. And yet, if we get all the flags, then for 2 weeks at least, no child soldiers like Gerard will have to die. Just loving both of them. As you see Zazie pulling out a cell phone to make a call. And she closes it with a check. And she goes, Queen Lemire and I talked it over. I'll go with you. Lydia's like, Zazie. And she goes, but only for 3 days. And you see Elia's again imagining Payne's little phantom as he goes, small soul. What you do only for your own satisfaction. You simply do not wish to recognize your own helplessness. Only when flexing his muscle does man forget how helpless he is. And that is the true meaning of life. Even the stars in the night sky will burn out one day. When will the fire in your heart sputter and die? How eagerly I await that day. So we get into the next page and we have Spotney Prey out there. It's like, they're scattering like baby spiders. It's like, well, I can't blame them. It's like fierce firepower, dense armor plating. No one can face down Sleipnir, a Hovian galloping space tank, even though it's used. We have chapter 21. Let me give you some advice as you have this ridiculous looking tank. And you have Sleipnir's Odin's 8-legged horse from Norse mythology. And you have flag Z03 in sight, distance 800 meters. Anti-personnel radar shows 2 contacts at 10 o'clock. He's like, all right, serve them up hot. And you see the machine guns are starting to fire with a brat as they open fire on the ruins ahead of them. And you have delicious. He's like, huh? He's like, what? They're still there. 300 meters. 2. Closing in fast. You see a boom and a tink as the machine gun gets cut off and lands in the dirt. Jeff, did you see that? Hey, why'd you stop firing? This guy am firing. The gun must be jammed. And you see just this blur running around the tank as someone's cutting off all the firing guns on the outside. He's like, they're right on top of us. You see, boom. As you see this Black Panther-looking guy silhouetted up there, and you just see him grinning as you have a whack as he kicks the tank's leg and just sends it flying out from underneath it with a cling katang. Do you have anti-tank missile? It's like, no, a kick. And you have a clong and an eek, another from behind. And you see more clongs. Like, no, my tank. It's like, how can this be? Haven't even paid it off yet. And you see whoever's kicking it is just slowly just starting to compress it and crush everyone that's inside. Oh, it's more like a wolf, not a cat. Yeah, so you see this wolfman looking guy that's just going bam, bam, bam. He's just completely pulverized the tank. And you see a flying silhouette like a large golem hulking one sitting behind him in the distance. And you have not much time until the ZOT tournament. Just 7 weeks left. You have the flying one going, hee, didn't break a sweat. Let's stop waiting for the other 2 and conquer the Zot ourselves. And you have the big one going, no, other strong warriors fight in the chamber somewhere. I can feel it in the vibrations of the air. Sooner or later, they will come for this flag. I'm getting excited. I can't wait to meet that group. You have Hob City, Leviathan 1. As you have Ping walking around going, hey, what's all the hubbub about? You have someone going, want to make a bet, bud? Some dudes in the chamber are trying to grab all the flags. And you won't believe. Ping's like, huh. And you see on the news screen, it's flag number 77. If they get a complete set, it'll be the first time in 62 years. And you see Alita on screen just hauling this huge bundle of flags on her shoulder. And Ping's like, hey! And the guy that tried to get him to make the bed's like, see? Ain't she cute? Ping's like, so that's where she's been. So much for the secret part of our plan is ruined. And he's thinking about it. He's like, or is it? It's like, maybe I can use this to our advantage. And you see a whoosh. This is a plane flying ahead. And you see Alita and Zazie taking a break behind this bullet-ridden wall. And you have a boom, boom, boom. As Zazie pulls out her cell phone, it's like, hello? It's like, who the hell? How'd you get this number? It's like, huh? Our manager? And you see Zazie looking over Alita and going, it's a TV crew. In exchange for an interview, they'll take us to the final flag. What do you say? Alita's like, let's hitch a ride. And you see sponsored by Space Funeral Home. And yeah, this is Jay Garambo for Combat TV. Right now I'm with a duo, and you see an ow as Zex leaps up and just starts stabbing a pencil into his cheek as he goes, trio, the trio that's the buzz of Hobbs City. And he goes, Alita, I hear you came to Leviathan 1 to attend the ZOT tournament. Alita's like, who told you that? And he goes, your manager, who else? Already paid him the fees. And Alita... And Alita and Zazie are just thinking about paying this dude his little smirk as they're like, that little? And you have 3 cyborgs await you at the final flag. My sources tell me they're 3 of the 5-man karate master team also slated to enter the ZOT tourney. And he goes, Zazie, do you think you can beat them? And he's just kind of leading in with the camera, and Zazie's just like... Oh boy, poor Zazie's got stage fright. She just stands up with the sound. She's like, oh, my name is Zazie. There are reasons I can't reveal anything else, but my hobbies include collecting hats. Oh, she's so adorable. And you see Zex is just losing and going, wah! Alita's trying to cover a smile. He's like, what's she so nervous about? And you see Zazie just pulling out a gun and shooting at them. And you have, I hate cameras. You see, whoa, please, no firing inside the aircraft. And you have Alita going, I didn't know it was a team event. Zazie, you want to enter with us? Zazie's like, my job is more important. And you see, okay, we're above our destination. As the helicopter's heading towards the team we saw before. And Alita goes, Zex, you stay here. Zex's like, say what? No way. And Alita's like, TV won't pick you up anyway, except in close-up. Use your warrior's expertise to be our commentator. Zex is like, it's like warrior's expertise? It's like, yeah, sitting back and watching ain't so bad now and then. And you see... Oh, I love this. You see Alita and Zazie just free falling out of the plane. And Alita lands with a one thud. And as soon as Zazie lands, she dives off the side and fires off a spray of bullets. The bird person just puts up one wing. The bullets all just deflect around her. She goes, guns. Guns are of no use against us. And Alita's like some kind of electromagnetic shield. And you have the big bull-looking one going, do not panic. First, allow me to introduce myself. I am the 8th Dan Slaughter Master in Super Electromagnetic Karate, Toji. And you have the bird one going, I am the heir to the Tengu-style Hogan. And you have I thought it was a wolf, now it looks more like a gargoyle or a goblin now that you see it. And he goes, I'm Gavit of the Gadokai. And you have Alita and Zazie introducing themselves, going, Alita. Like, I'm Zazie. And Alita goes, and I have one warning for you. Just a quick glance at what the cyborg team looks like. Alita goes, this isn't some karate sparring match. If you want to go on living, get out of my way. They're silent for a minute before they all just start bursting out laughing. And Toji goes, you are amusing, but if you want the flag, you'll have to defeat us first. And you have the reporter going, such an audacious provocation, but can she back it up? And Zek's like, idiot, this battle's already begun. What seems to be idle chit-chat is a ploy to distract the enemy, and then And you see Gavin just coming up behind Alita as he goes, "Hey, aren't you cute? So teeny, I just want to eat you up." Alita's like, "I warned you." And he says, "Shium," as she just launches this super fast strike right into his midsection. And you see a wham boom as you see this giant shockwave spreading out from the point of impact. And on the plane, the announcer's like, "What was that?" And Zex is like, "Ultra Extreme Punch. I just named it." And she goes, her Geschossschlag is already faster than sound, but in this original move, she electromagnetically accelerates her fist to supersonic speed. There'll be nothing left. And you see this little crater from where Alita just shot Gavin backwards. Oh, and you see him at the end as he just blocked it with his arm to catch the blow. And you see the little imprint of Alita's fist in his hand as he goes, "Nice. Keep it up and I'll fall in love." Zek's like, "What? You blocked it?" You have Toji going, "It was a telegraphed punch. Electromagnetism in fists and legs is common practice in space-age karate. If you know it's coming, it's not hard to block." And you see telegraphed punch is when the window for a punch is too big, making it easy to observe that it's coming beforehand. And you see Alita going, "I'd hope that punch would take down all three. Guess it won't be so easy." And you see Gavin just walking over this huge black chunk as he goes, "Know what? They used to call me Scarab when I was a kid. I'd take whatever was lying around and pack it down into a little ball." And he goes, "Punk." It's like, "I'm not sure why, but I couldn't stop myself." And you have Scarab, a type of beetle known for rolling around balls of animal dung, known by the name Funkorogashi, dung roller in Japanese. And you have that's the tank that went missing in this area this morning. That walking tank is nearly unrecognizable. And you see him just leaning his head against it. He just starts wailing a bunch of punches on it. And you can see him just kind of frothing at the mouth as he goes, "Once I start a ball, I want to see it get bigger and bigger." He goes, "I'm going to pound you into my ball of metal too." And he comes flying towards Alita with a thwam, and he tries to do a low kick. And she puts one arm on it, and she vaults herself over it. And you have a whoosh. And a wham as he tries to punch her as she's diverting. And she uses that moment to kind of grab his arm, loop around, and just smack him with a knee to the face as she flies off. And he's like, "Ah, what was that?" He goes, "Hey." And you see Alita, after she launches off, she uses her hand to bounce up off the ground and do a spinning kick in the air to try and hit him, and he just barely dodges out of the way. And you have Hogan going, "What skill? But Gavin can kick a tank leg in half. How'd she survive?" And you have Zex going, "She spun her body with his kick to direct its energy against him. Panzerkunst's mighty Osterstosse." And you see Toji's big ears twitching as he goes, "Ah, Panzerkunst. Now her powers make sense." He goes, "Now, let's see just how much of the legendary ancient martial art she knows." And you see her and Gavus just exchanging more blows as Lita pulls out her little laser claws and strikes him in the arm. And you see that kind of just bounces off and it just kind of creates a little blob around his arm rather than penetrating. And Yamcha's like, "The plasma claw, halted." Zex goes, "But that's part of her plan." He's like, "It's a trap. Now she'll reverse from the plasma cupola to the plasma soliton." What is going on? You see, as he's trying to do it, so you see Gav's just kind of going with the twish with his arm motion as he falls back, and you see a bam as the cupola just slams into the ground instead. And Zex is like, "That bastard brushed Alita's cupola aside. He's got to be very experienced. Damn space karate master." And you see Alita grabbing onto his arm again, as Gavs also grabs onto her other arm, and she leaps up and just smacks him in the face with another kick. As he goes, "That won't work." And Zex is like, "So, Alita's only advantage is her Panzerkunst surprise attacks? But she can't do any damage if it were me." And you see Gavin's starting to power up, and he's got these weird little energy circles on his back, spark electricity as he goes, "That all you've got? Let's end this game." And you see Toji going, "Yes, it's his 1200 hit per minute crush. Phalanx And you see him just dashing forth a barrage of punches as we get to chapter 22. Did you see that? And as he's flying forward to his barrage, he's like, ah! And you have Toji going, the turbine on his back create a powerful continuous punch he calls the phalanx. It's impossible to counter blows like that. It embodies the saying, the best defense is a good offense. And you have a type, phalanx is a type of heavy infantry formation used in ancient Greece, used to great effect by Alexander the Great's Macedonian forces. And you see bam, 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 bam. As Alita's trying to block as many of the punches as she can. You see a vish and a wham as one of them lands and she gets sent tumbling backwards. Now she's like, did he get her? He's like, nope, she leaped back. She leapt back before getting caught in the barrage. You see a whack as Alita's tumbling towards Zazie, and Zazie just kicks her off to the side so she lands and smack into a wall instead. And Zazie's like, so, shall I take your place? He's like, nice of you to offer, but those punches were just so slow they threw me off. And she's like, the best he can do is 40 strikes per second using both hands. Even a normal human can dodge that. If you want to hit me, you need to be 10 times faster. 400 blows a second. You can see Gavitz is just getting pissed off as this Alita's just talking down to him. He goes, Urgh! He's like, I accept. And he just rips apart his shirt. As he has two more tuners or the jet things in his chest. And he goes, phalanx afterburner. And you see him just shooting out a jet behind him as he's charging up more. And you have Hogan going, Gavin has turned off his limiter. Then 400 blows per second may be possible. But he can only function at maximum power for 10 seconds. The strain will pulverize his body. And you see him charging up as Alita's got her back to the wall. And you have, what's Alita daydreaming about? That's a rotten position. She's got to move. Or does she have a plan? And you have Voom as he's clenching his fist and powering up. And Alita's going, I can read his Kizashi, but can I read his chi without leaving my physical body? And you have Kizashi's subtle mental and physical predictors that occur just before intended actions. And chi is the source of timing and concentration in any body. And Alita goes, if I can, then I've exceeded my old powers. And you see a foom as both of them launch forward at the same time. And you see a giant bwam as he obliterates the wall behind Alita. And you have, this time he got her. It's like, idiot, look a little closer. And you see a wham. Excuse me. I need a drink of water here before I continue. And you see, what? Over there? And you see Alita just kind of dodging in between his punches. As you have Gavit's first strike comes right at her. She just reads it and hides near his chest. She's safe. It's like the strategy is simple, but to actually pull it off, she's much sharper than when I fought her last. And you have Hogan going, she's countered it. Gavit, stop the barrage. And you see Gavit just going, but I can't just stop this thing. And you see Alita doing a ha. She does a double palm thrust of a Herzaheon and kind of sends him staggering back. And you see Toji kind of smacking his arm on his leg as he goes, She broke through Gavit's afterburner head on. She's clearly no ordinary warrior. You can see that Toji's starting to spark up his own energy things as he's getting excited. And you have Hogan flying off in the air with the claw. With a claw. And you have a fap, fap, fap. As Zazie just launches some bullets at her and Hogan kind of deflects around the shield. And Zazie's like, you're mine. And he's like, yeah, grish. And you see that Gavit's body starting to overheat as he's still punching away. He's like, I can't stop punching. And you see his body's getting set on fire with a wham, wham, smoke just pouring out of it. As Alita goes, did you see that? And she's thinking of Colonel Payne. She goes, did you see it, Colonel Payne? This is me. A reality stronger than all your empty words. And you have Gavitz as he's leaning backwards going, somebody stop the punching. And you see a boom as his upper body just explodes from the pressure. Jeff, Alita did it! Such skill! And Zazie going, now it's my turn. And you have the announcer going, like Thomas Hobbes said, In the state of nature, man has the liberty to use any means to preserve his own life. In accord with those words, the Leviathan One combat chamber recognizes the war of all against all. Stay tuned for more cruel and unusual battles after this break. And you see Thomas Hobbes, 1588 to 1679, a British political philosopher. His best-known work is Leviathan, 1651. And you see on the next page, Stubborn Little, as Zazi's just firing more and more bullets at Hogan, who's created this electromagnetic shield around himself to deflect it. He goes, I told you, guns don't work on me. And you have Zazi's just firing away, going, counting out guns is a risky move. And you see Hogan going behind her, swooping in, and dashing along low to the ground, going, Kotengu-style sliding blade attack. You know, kachak, as Zazie reloads, and as Hogan comes out underneath her, she flips above and tries to fire on his back, and the bullets still get deflected. And Hogan's like, faint with low penetration bullets, then bring out the hot loader, but it won't work. And you see hot loader is a modded cartridge using explosive powder that's stronger than specs allow. Places great strain on the gun itself, which makes long-term use dangerous. And you see Zazie looking behind as some of the Hogan's feathers come spiking out of the air and surrounding her with a zish, zish. And Jeff, so your backwards roll was meant to catch me off guard, eh? But you've forgotten about the Coriolis force inside the colony. And Jeff Hogan being like, who said I was aiming at you? And you see all the feathers starting to spark with a zap and a zot. And Zod's like, oh, it's like my body, it's... And you see Hogan going, paralyzed? This is the Kotengu feather trap. You are not worthy to face me. Now die, Kotengu slice and dice axe chop. And you see him coming down from above with his arms crossed, about to land an X kick right on Zazie with a zoosh. And you see, it's like, is that a grenade? You see Zazie's managed to drop a grenade right before that happens. And you see a boom as the explosion sends her flying forward towards Hogan while he's still got his leg up. And he's like, what? You see a whoosh as you see the feathers being blown away. And he's like, very nice. Broke my feather trap in the blast. But, and as he's trying to lay about him with his legs, you see Zazie's just dodging out of the way. And you see bam, bam, bam. As one of the feathers comes in front of her eyes and blocks her view. And he goes, you've yet to see my hidden claw. And you see a chack as he brings up his arm from below and tries to grab Zazie, and she blocks it with the gun in front of her face at the last minute. You see a ska and a crack as he hits her with his leg as she's blocking the arm. And he sends her flying backwards, and she lands without any... That is too badass. She gets kicked, sends flying back, and as she's landing, kicks the hat onto her head, so it lands with a poof on her as she lands. Oh, that is just too badass. And you have Hogan going, I would have dug my claws into your eye sockets and lifted you up. I give you credit for dodging my hidden claw. And Zazie's like, I've done a little karate myself, you know, but how can you call this karate? And you see him going, Kotengu style evolved from Tengu karate, created by the forest ninjas of Japan. With the powerful punches of Okinawa thrown in, it's the latest space age fighting technique. And you have Zazie going, As she discards her gun off to the side. Hogan's like, so, why do you throw down your gun? And Zazie's like, think I'll fall for an old trick like that? While we fought, you put something in my gun, didn't you? And both Alita and Zex are just looking at her being like, what? It's a real battle of wits. I would have fallen for that. Zazie goes, don't worry. I still have lots of guns. And she pulls another one out from inside her coat and points it at Hogan. He's like, I guess a fool never learns. And you see a blam as the shell gets ejected. And you see this giant bullet just flying at Mach speed towards Hogan, who's surprised and gets boomsh. And he gets blown away by the impact, and one of his wings gets torn off. And Zazie's like, I forgot to mention, these explosive rounds are made of plastic. Your shield is useless. And you see Hogan, as he lands, puts one of his arms down and starts doing like a capoeira spin around himself. He goes, how careless. But now that I know I can knock bullets as slow out of the air, one broken wing won't keep me down. And you see a whoosh as the arm he's using also explodes, and he's just like left with a ruined, mangled mess. He's like, what the? And Zaz's like, watch your step. Planted some landmines over there earlier. Oh, I love this. And Zazie just walks up and she just starts laying into him with gunfire. Yeah! As he's falling back, she's like, fish. The guns deserve respect. And you see his broken body mess laying down on the ground. As soon as Zazie gets close, with a scrack, his leg comes up and slices her gun in half. He grabs her leg with his other arm and he goes, I've got you now. And he starts spinning her in the air. As you have the secret Kotengu style tornado scythe. And as they're spinning, Zazie pulls out her knife and starts slicing away. And you see them tumbling in a circle as Zazie comes to a stop as she's chopped his arm off. Ooh, and you see she's tossed the knife. So as she's landing, she tosses the knife, takes him right in the eye. And she shoots with a gun to dislodge the knife and send it slicing through his head with a crick. Oh, man, she is too badass. Good Lord. And she has the knife, she slowly twirls through the air. She just catches it with her other hand. She goes, super ceramic knife, built to stand up to plasma jet temps. Just call this Zazie style. Oh, she's so incredibly badass. You have one more went down during the commercial. And then Alita's looking at the rest and going, okay, big guy, you're next. Spin around 3 times and bark, and I'll let you go. And you have the big one wearing this karate gi finally standing up as he goes, I wasn't planning on losing any of my men before the big event. You're good, I admit that. But those two aren't impressive examples of karate. Goes, don't judge me based on them. And he goes up to the giant little ball that Gavs had made out of the tank, and he kind of just effortlessly slices it in half as he goes, I'll show you what it means to be a true master. Come, I will fight you both. All right, it's almost hitting an hour, but I do really want to get to this next part to see what Toji's made of. So we're going on to chapter 23, Karate Antlion Pit. Do you see as you see this old video, I assume, of Toji on this huge stack of like this concrete building as he slices down, and you see the buildings just starting to collapse. And you see a clip from a karate contest 4 years ago, 120-story skyscraper, and Toji's record has yet to be broken. And you have the announcer looking at Zex and going, Professor Zex, can he lose? Zex is like, Professor? And she's like, he's quite strong if he can hit his target. Alita's challenge will be to withstand his attack long enough to find an opening of her own. And she goes, Alita's beaten many enemies larger than Toji. Against Panzerkunst, large size is a disadvantage. The announcer's like, so she'll win? And you see Toji's kind of taking a fighting pose. He's like, sounds like they doubt me. Then I shall prove myself. And you see him standing away at a distance from Alita and Zazie. And he's like, what's he planning at this distance? And he goes, electromagnetic super karate, reverse thrust. And he just punches the air in front of him. And you see this boom as you see the air warping. And Zazie's like, shit, dodge. And you see a blam as they both just get tossed backwards by the shockwave. And he's a shaum with a wham. And you see the helicopter also gets knocked out of the air and comes in for a crash landing. The young is like, aye! It's like that ultra extreme thing, only worse. And Zex is like, I take it back. Even if he misses the target, it's bad news. And you have Toji going, one fist, one iron blow. All my power in a single punch. These are the teachings of electromagnetic karate. The level of slaughter master is achieved when the student can kill 100 men with one strike. Well, he's like, Well, the sonic boom alone would kill dozens of normal people. And as Alita's kind of trying to get up, she kind of just staggers and falls over. And you have stand up straight. At this distance, my sonic boom will damage even its cyborg's inner ear, resulting in temporary loss of balance. Gravit underestimates his foes. Hogan wallows in his technical prowess. But I look 3 times before I leap. I never fight battles I can't win. That is the first secret of total victory. And this is my second way to ensure victory. And he launches himself into the air and comes down with like a knife kick into the dirt and goes, the dirt tsunami. And you see a wham as this giant shockwave of dirt is covering the entire area. And you have the announcer going, this is Jack Garambo live with Combat TV at a slight distance for safety's sake. He goes, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Excuse me, need more water. He goes, Hills at 03, it's gone and replaced by a huge crater. And you see Toji standing in what looks like the impact of a giant meteor crater. There's devastation all around him. He goes, not only is it harder to escape now, but the crater makes a sonic boom more deadly than on even terrain, like a space karate Antillian pit. You see a wham and yeah! As he goes in for another punch as Lee is flying. Lee goes, here it comes. Have to catch his punch, close in into his chest, and use the hair's Laban to strike his blind spot. And you see Alita spinning in the air as the punch is coming by. She's like, all right, catch it. And you see, boom. And a vud as she gets sent flying. It's can't grab on. Sonic boom, too strong. The next one, you see a flip as the grenade's being launched towards Toji's face. And he brings up his knee at the last knee in his arm to block it at the last second. With a bam. And a scream and an oof as Alita gets sent flying back. And you see Zazie going, I'm such a nice person, helping out in this battle even though it's not mine. And you see her pulling out this giant-ass looking rifle. And she goes, 20 caliber cermet shells with an AP FSDS core. My best bullet wasted on a karate master. And she fires another one with a crack. Bam and a crack. And you see, as it goes out, it starts to explode, and you see this tiny little dart shooting out. And you have cermet is a material synthesized from metal and ceramic, resistant to high temperatures and ballistic shot. And you have AP FSDS is armor-piercing, fin-stabilized, discarding sabot, an anti-tank round with stabilizing wings and loading cylinder. After firing, the loading cylinder falls away and the round flies at high speed, highly penetrating due to kinetic energy focused on the round. And you see flying towards Toji, who's taking a defensive stance. And you see Alita's once again hallucinating pain as he comes up and goes, stay down. Release yourself from this agonizing, sad, meaningless life. He's like, don't make me Alita's like, don't make me laugh. I'm not about to give up now. And Pain's like, you intend to continue this pointless struggling? Alita's like, I'll decide what's pointless or meaningless. And Pain's like, very well, but can you defeat that man? His spirit may be shallow and flimsy, but his body is powerful. Didn't you say you had grown stronger than before? Take care you're not crushed by brutal reality. It was one more thing. You cling to your affection for humans, a race that died out long ago, and you unconsciously allow that to limit you? And you see Elias kind of shocked by this as he goes, you never even noticed your chains until they were pointed out to you. What an easygoing slave you are. And you see a vish and a wunk. Oh, I'm not sure if he actually deflected this or not, but you see Toji doing like a cross block as he seemingly deflects the bullet. And then he launches out with a kick right at where Zazie was, and Zazie goes flying back. You have Zex going, he's distorting the air and the terrain, wearing them down with a reverse strike and dirt tsunami, and when he has them cornered, he'll crush them with an overwhelming attack. Like he said, it's an extremely reliable tactic. This is bad. Zex is like, if it gets any worse, I'll have to go out there. You have a tink-tunk. We see the dirt storm just feeling rustled up from the impact of Toji's attack. And Zazi's like, still alive, Alita? She's like, yeah. Toji goes, you made my day. It's so unusual for a foe to successfully evade my attacks in the crater of hell. But after seeing your skills, I predicted that this would happen. Take a look at the sky. And you see plip plip as rain start dropping down and starts storming on them. And you have, what the hell is that? As you see a storm cloud above them. And Toji goes, during the battle, I electromagnetically condensed the moisture in the air to create a rain cloud. Do you know why? And you see Zazie looking down at her feet, which are getting muddy by the dirt. And she recognizes something as Toji goes, that's right. The longer the battle goes, the harder it will be for you to move. This is my third secret of total victory. We have Zazie loading the gun again, and she goes, Alita, on my signal, take him on. And she looks over at Alita because she hasn't had a response, like, Alita? And you see a Shah as Alita's just looking up, eyes closed, and just letting the rain fall on her. And she thinks, I've been a captive to people from my past. I let them determine my limits. I see. Now I have to die. As I am, I'll have to die. And she kind of takes a little praying stance as Zazie and Toji are kind of looking at her in surprise. And she have a whoop. And she goes, that's what it means to overcome your limits. And you have a zist as you have this electricity starting to spark on her body. Zazie's like, what's happening to her body? And you see from one of her arms, Alita's materialized a blade. And she's pulled it out. As she goes, Zazie, give me the signal. I'm ready. And Zazie's just shivering from Alita's almost like emotionless stare. And she's like, such a fierce foe. It's like, go for it, Alita. I was like, after all that, she steeled her nerves and is trying to take me down with her. But he's like, it's no use. And you see Toji launching out with another kick again as he tries to do his dirt annihilation. And Alita just comes up, powers up, and just punches right through it. And he goes, an electromagnetic punch through the dirt tsunami, but she won't make it. Distance, timing, totally perfect. And you see Alita as she's dying through, goes, I am dead. Oh. Okay, so she's trying to make an opening using her body as a distraction so Zazie can shoot right through her. Zazie goes, I've been waiting for this moment. Those two are totally focused on each other. All my shots up to now were designed to determine the trajectory standard deviation. Now I can use the Coriolis force to curve my shots right into his weak point. Ooh. And you see Zazie launching the bullet, and it comes up in an arc, and it goes down and goes right through Toji's eyes with a Gah! And a splork as it shoots through him. And you can see him trying to launch out with a punch at the same time as Alita's launching herself towards him. Alita just barely dodges the punch. And she goes, every last part of me is dead, and now I can move forward. And she swings the blade up and just slices it straight through his face and bisects it. As we have Phase 24, a fighting soul ablaze like fire. All right, I know I was going to stop with those chapters, but I cannot end it before this battle is ended. Oh, such a beautiful spread. As you have a yeah! As Alita just launches herself off of him after she sliced through his brain. And Toji's like, she got me? It's like, no way. Was it plasma? He's like, no. It's like a solid blade. He's like, my brain. He's like, is my brain okay? It's like, wait, my eyes. I can't see. It's like, left eye. It's been hit. But how? He's like, she's coming back. Must defend my... He's like, no, have to counterattack. He's like, numb. Can't move. And you see Alita launching herself in from the air as Gah! And she's arcing down with her blade again. As you see, I'm being cut. Oh my god, come on. And you see a whoop as Alita just falls face first onto Toji's chest. He's like, He's like, she's out cold? He's like, she must have lost consciousness when she tried to avoid my close range attack. So this is my chance. Now I can kill her. And as he's reaching up for her, he's kind of stopping and pausing. And you see a whoop, Zazie just digs herself out of the little dirt mudslide puddle she was lying in from the impact. And she's like, how long was I out? Where's the battle? And as she's looking down, she sees that Alita's been laid out on this little blanket, and Toji's just crouched down next to her, sitting silently. Zaz's like, damn you! And she pulls up the gun. And Toji's like, wait, she merely fainted. And this battle is my loss. And kind of puts his arms down as he bows to her. And Zazi's like, she's down. Why not finish her off? And he goes, killing an opponent in this state cannot be called karate. A mercenary like you may not understand, but though your shooting was also superb, she cut me down while already unconscious, using only her warrior's instincts. She is truly fearsome. He goes, to think, the first warrior to defeat me since I received my black belt would not even reach my belly button. He's like, I don't understand. And he goes, I too was born small. It's why I long to become the strongest. When I began karate, I traded in my flesh and blood body without hesitation. I had to have strength to win, and I believed that size meant strength. He goes, I don't understand. How can she fight when she is so small? How can she keep fighting? He goes, I can't fathom the kind of determination, tenacity, and brutality that must be hidden inside that adorable shell. And you have a Sazi just puts her gun down next to her. And she goes, everyone who fights Alita asks the same question about the soul that drives those moves of hers. Well, she's a master of Panzerkunst, the greatest form of unarmed combat on Mars. So of course she's strong, but... And Toji goes, I had heard the line of Panzerkunst was broken. And Zazie goes, Panzerkunst's home was wiped out 2 centuries ago. Only ruins remain. But one master still survives. And you have Toji pulling out his flag and offering it to her and goes, one with a fighting soul ablaze like fire. The copter is coming. Please take the flag. And he goes, I will take part in the tourney as planned, with an even stronger body. And I will be victorious. If we face each other again, I will not be beaten. And Zazie comes and grabs a flag and Alita and goes, I'll pass on the message to her. As you have Leviathan 1 docking bay, and you have Johan going, her new friend is a bad influence. First the TV fiasco, and now we're late. We must punish Zazie firmly. Lemuria's like, oh, I don't think so. Stubborn Zazie has finally made a friend other than me. That alone makes our stop here worth it. Though I wish we could have saved the little soldiers. And you see Zazie and Alita saying goodbye as Zazie goes, good luck at the ZOT. Alita's like, yeah. And Zex is like, you're leaving? Come on, let's all rip that tourney apart. And Alita's like, don't throw a fit. And Zazie's like, you plan to enter at your size? Why not stick to TV announcing? Zex is like, damn right I do, and we'll win. Just let me at him. Wherever there's a battle, you'll find Zex. I've already put in my order with Nerd and Fatbeard. I'll be good to go. Alita goes, my name on Mars is Yoko. If you meet any other living Panzerkunst users, tell them about me. And Zazie salutes and goes, I will. Alita waves goodbye as the Mars ship finally takes off with a voom. And she goes, well, I promised Jaskun that I'd aspire to reach heights he was unable to attain. Gelda gave me guidance. Jaskun taught me pride. From Den, I learned never to follow blindly. And she goes, I'll become stronger than all of you. I will step into the unknown, and one day I will go to Mars. But first, the ZOT tournament. She goes, Lou, I'm on my way. Oh, love that. It literally gave me chills just trying to read that. You have Space City Catheres, and you have Adam Bobby in his little lab as he's going, what's the meaning of this? What are they doing on Leviathan 1? And you see him watching the playback of Alita's match as he goes, I don't believe this. How do they survive being vented into space? You see Zazie, a member of the Mars Kingdom Parliament Army, aided her in the combat chamber. Queen Lemuria and her retinue are now on their way back to Mars. And Ada's like, could the Mars Kingdom Parliament be up to something? Seems far-fetched, but I'd best stay on top of every eventuality. And you have ZOTT entries have been accepted and are official. Under the ZOTT provisions of the latter treaty, tournament registration provides complete protection from all sanctions. And you see the Space Angels has Elves, Wolf, Zex, and Alita, with the pit crew being Deckman and Ping. And Ada goes, that man, who is he? And you have Ping Wu, funded by commodities distributor Martin Sang. No further ID exists. And Ada's like, what is the real goal here? Nova? Do they want him back? He's like, very well. The whole point of the Zot is to flush out such unstable elements and destroy them. And you have Zenith of Things. In the early days, the Zot was a grand experiment testing battle bots against the finest living soldiers. Year ES 491, the first ZOT tournament is held at the suggestion of Aga Mbadi. You have Zot tournament rules, 5 players per team. All players may fight simultaneously. No limit to the number of weapons. Gunpowder allotment equals 5% of the total weight of all players on a team. Player height range 5 centimeters to 50 meters. Weight limit 500 tons. Players must be fully autonomous robots, cyborgs, or humans. Remote control from outside the battlefield is not permitted. Battle time equals 60 minutes. The battle is over when all members of a team are incapacitated, dead, or forfeit. As long as they above the rules above, no player will be punished for any act in a match, even in the case of the death of a player. And you see Katheri's companionship onion frame. You have this 10th, the Zenith of Things tournament begins now, as you see inside the little arena. As we have chapter 25, let the Zot begin, and I will probably cut it off there. So I think that's a good point to cut it off before we dive any further into it. So, not as much plot progression in this chapter, but I do love to focus on the fighting and the martial arts. Reminded me a lot of the Motorball arc from the original series, especially with Toji, like gave me Josuke vibes. I love that man. Oh, I cannot wait to see him come back and fight again. It's also interesting kind of seeing Alita trying to overcome her limits and kind of come to terms with, her past and everything else. And again, still struggling to find out, who she is and what she wants out of life. And I really, really like how inspiring seeing that kind of journey is where she's trying to find herself. Chibi Zex is the absolute best comedy relief you can get in this series. I just love how Chibi Zex's little Napoleon complex about being left out is just super adorable. I hope we get to see Zex fight in the Chibi body and see how effective that actually is. Because I think, spoiler, I do know at some point Zex will get a full new body again at some point. So I'm excited to look forward to that as well. But also, a lot of the early parts of this volume, the cynical vibes were definitely gut-wrenching. Where you see, the soul, all the child soldiers, how people like Pain view humans as commodities, that can be interchanged and so on. And how it's really see the contrast between Alita, who's trying to find her humanity, and the contrast between them, her and Ladder and Pain, and all the other people who are trying to abandon their humanity and transcend it. It was interesting seeing the interplay between Alita and the rest of Ladder and those guys, and how they kind of view things. So I'm interested in seeing more of how that's going to play out in future volumes. I can't wait for the Zot tournament. I can't wait to see what other kinds of teams are going to be in there. Not going to lie, I kind of wish or hope that Elf and Swolf will get knocked out so we can get someone that's more interesting to join the team. A little bit disappointed that Zazi's not going to join the team because I love her. She's so badass. And I love the little flourishes where she like knocked the pat back on her head, or flip and land, just catch the knife. Just I love Zazie. She is no nonsense, just absolutely perfect. Love her so much. Yes, agree with Michael. Toji had my respect when he accepted defeat. That's a real man. Like, oh yes, that was. I'll admit I was almost like uncertain what his arc was going to play out as, but I think once we got into it, like I really appreciate the fact that he is kind of the honorable warrior. It's a really good character archetype. I really love it, so I can't wait to see more of him coming back. So with that said, I think that's all my closing thoughts. I will probably cut off the stream here. Thank you everyone for joining me for this. I'll try to do a couple of more live streams this week. Probably try to get around back to Vinland Saga, as well as trying to get back to Lazarus sometime as well. Probably try to do another Alita one either Thursday, Friday. I'm going to tentatively say I'll try to dive back into this. And then for this upcoming weekend, I'll try to get a review ready for the first volume, Omnibus, and I'll go kind of revisit it for the political stuff there. And so until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.